This episode of Blowjam is brought to you by FreshBooks.com. Get a 30-day free trial at gofreshbooks.com/blow and enter Blowjam in the How Did You Hear About Us section. Hey buddies, it's Blowjam presents PODSMASH, the podcast that reviews podcasts. I'm your host, Delia Blowjam, and with me is my co-host and husband, Ryan Blowjam.
Hey, what's up?
Just another day in paradise, wrapping up the week in podcasts. So we start out with our top 3 picks of the week. The first segment's called Feed Me. So Ryan, you always feed me first. Put something in my tum-tum, the ears of my tum-tum.
Okay, so what was good in my feed this week was this past weekend with Chris D'Elia. Theo Von and Chris D'Elia, they traded podcasts for April Fool's Day. It's a pretty funny episode. I think Chris D'Elia did pretty good, on it. He had some funny things,
It was good, I heard it.
Theo was really good on Congratulations. I thought it was a good concept.
I've never heard of two hosts, switching, commandeering each other's shows. It was good. And so that leads into my top pick, that being Theo Von taking over Chris D'Elia's podcast, Congratulations. And I want to play y'all a tiny little clipsies. It's so funny. Real quick, so Theo Von went to Chris D'Elia's. He made fun of how rich Chris D'Elia is. He made fun of how Chris D'Elia treats his listeners. He calls them all true babies. Like, my babies. And he says it's like a cult. And he also has a soundboard with all these audio clips. So Theo was just pressing the buttons, not knowing what's what. It was so funny. Let me get a little clip. He's making fun of the babies here.
Happy April Fools. Let me start right there. I don't know what happened, man. I just woke up here. It's like a time warp. And I'm going to be the guide today. I got controls over everything. Boy, look at these. Let me hear this thing right there. Uh-oh. What is that, dude? Somebody spilled a milk. Uh-oh, one of the babies spilled the milk. What's up, babies? My babies, huh? Daddy's home. Who wants a little breast milk? Uh-oh, spilled some. Uh-oh, spilled some milk. Good to be here, man. It is rich out here, bro. I went out.
I've heard that clip maybe 8 times now. It still cracks me up.
That's funny.
Yeah, you guys should listen. It's a good concept. They pull it off. What do you got next, Buggy?
I got Disgraceland with host Jake Brennan. They also did a prank episode for April Fool's Day. It was about how Jim Morrison is actually the Zodiac Killer, and it's pretty funny, But what's kind of funny is some of those dates kind of added up. I was thinking maybe he could be. He could be the Zodiac. Jim Morrison is pretty weird, but no. Not true, but
it's plausible. Yeah, the dates kind of line up.
It was funny, and they actually took the episode down, so it doesn't exist anymore. It was just there on April Fool's Day. It's pretty cool.
I got a text from Ryan at work, and it said, "So I guess Jim Morrison is a Zodiac killer," with no other context, and I'm like, "Wait a second, things are adding up." But he was too drugged out to be able to do that.
He can't do anything.
For a second, I'm like, mystery is solved. I hopped on Google. I'm like, what? Breaking news.
He'd be the worst murderer. He can't even walk straight. He's so wasted all the time.
Good on you, Jake Brennan. That's putting it together.
That was
you got
funny,
me.
though.
Yeah. Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I got to get my shit together. I think that's a good dynamic between us. Ryan is always prepared, and I'm always winging it. But I did write down some notes, and my next one is This American Life with host Ira Glass. On this episode, which was titled Anything Can Be Anything, it's people connecting the dots with things that seem related. Are they related? Is it a conspiracy? So there are 2 stories. The first one is about the protest in Ferguson and how these key players in the protest, ended up dying or being murdered. And it seems like a conspiracy for sure. They do seem connected. And so the guy who did the story went out to find out more about it, and I don't want to spoil it. And the second story was really cool. It was about the Alabama Senate race between Roy Moore, famed pedophile, and Doug Jones. And so there was this guy, a liberal dude, who pulled a Russia and find out how he infiltrated this and swayed a conservative public opinion. He got really creative. It's interesting. Did you listen to that yet, Buggy?
No.
All right, well, you should. That's what this whole podcast is about.
Okay.
Your turn.
Yeah, so my next one is Crime Town Presents The Ballad of Billy Balls.
Yes.
It's hosted by I.O. Tillett Wright, because no one can have a normal name in the podcast industry.
What's your new podcast name?
I don't know. Black Man Jubitz or Manenstein?
Rian Petre, Black Manenstein, Djokovic.
Okay, that works. Yeah, so it's about the mysterious death of a rock and roll musician named Billy Balls. His real name is like Billy Weitzman or something. I can't remember. But it's also about his lover Rebecca. She wants to find out the truth. Happened in like the 70s, and she's been wondering all these years. And it's I think it's pretty good.
It's compelling,
I'm into
for
it.
Sure. You get sucked in.
Yeah, I'm Billy Balls deep in it.
Yeah, I got Billy Blue Balls just waiting for the next episode to come out. It's good. Good choice, Bug.
Billy Blue Balls.
Billy Blue Balls.
They call me Billy Blue Balls. Is there anything else? Or are we going for an ad break?
First, before ad break, let me talk about Harmontown. It's my third choice.
Oh, okay.
This episode is called Jeff's Joke Corner. And, jokes like, a rabbi and a priest and an atheist walk into a bar type jokes. Yeah, Jeff is a really good joke teller.
It's like a joke factory, man.
It was, but the deal is Dan Harmon is one of the most prolific comedy writers of our generation, but he cannot tell that type of joke to save his life. It took him 15 minutes to tell a joke about this guy fucking a duck in a whorehouse.
Oh, yeah, that's really funny.
So I'm going to do like a quick exercise. Ryan, I got a joke for you, all right?
Oh, wow.
So there was this guy who had a fetish for female Marine sergeants, and he had so many affairs with these Marines that he got a reputation for being rotten to the core.
Okay.
Let me do it Dan Harmon style. So there was this guy who had a fetish for Marine sergeants. He loved women in authority with discipline, but he's also drawn to men. He doesn't discriminate. He basically likes the uniform and their rigid schedules. So he worked his way around the base, sucking and fucking, and some of these Marines began to catch feelings for him. I mean, he was an attractive, charming man, but he was emotionally distant. And some of these Marines were prepared to leave their partners to be with this guy, and they were so head over heels that they began talking to each other, and word got around that, oh, this guy's fucking her, and this guy's fucking him, and that's how he got his reputation for being rotten to the core. And this joke is actually a woman sleeping around, but we're living in a new age where it's important for women to be heard, and I am listening. Hashtag Joe Biden. Drop the phone.
Wait, you did that?
Yeah.
Oh, is that yours or is that?
No, that's my joke. I just did it as an example of
okay.
The jokey way and then the Harmon way.
Oh, I thought maybe it was Harmon.
Oh, no. See, I'm channeling it. All right.
I don't know if it's a good thing to channel, but...
Yeah, why not? Let's do some ads. This episode of Blowjam is brought to you by BarkBox.com. Get one free extra month of BarkBox at getbarkbox.com/blow when you use code PBFEM. And Blowjam is brought to you by Warby Parker. Get a free 5-day home try-on at warbyparkertrial.com/blow. 5 pairs, 5 days, 100% free. we have returned, and we're going to pop right into news in the podcast world. Kick it off, Fry.
Oh, news? Okay, yeah. I guess we're back on iTunes.
Woo!
We're back on all the platforms, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, like Podbay, Player.fm. Probably Pandora at some point. But we're not showing up there yet. But like pretty much everywhere, like Spotify too. Like it's pretty good. Thanks to Anchor. Very good
platform.
Very good platform, yes.
Yeah, we like rejoiced. It's been months and months and months in the making, and I got so desperate that I emailed Dustin Marshall.
Oh yeah.
No, he's great. I mean, he's a co-founder of Feral Audio. Like crazy big podcast came from that.
He's our emo suicidal life coach.
Yeah, he helped us out a lot with like what equipment to get, and he gave us his Bible with all these, you know, tips and stuff. He's a good guy, but
Very smart man, yeah.
Yeah, when he was like our life coach last year, and we thought he was the best life coach because at the time he was homeless, jobless.
Yeah. He gave us good advice, though.
Yeah, he really did. So I'm like, you know what? Let me ask Dustin like why this would be possible. He was super nice. He wrote back with some tidbits and stuff like that. And then I'm like, hey, do you want to maybe come on PODSMASH? 2 days later, he checked into a mental hospital. People will go to great lengths to avoid us.
He's gonna avoid that Blowjam interview.
Oh yeah. Well, I asked, you know, what are your top 3 picks? And no, I wish him the best. I think he's gonna get right this time. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dustin.
You like Dustin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was news. Oh, okay. So next week, podcast reviews podcast. They might read my review because it's one of the episodes where they're gonna read the reviews. I left a really long one on iTunes. Like I can't imagine them like skimming over that. I think I used like all the characters you're allowed to write the review. It was pretty funny.
A big ass paragraph.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. It's funny.
Can you give us little excerpts right here?
I can't remember. I don't know.
Okay. We'll wait till next week.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay. I bet it's good. I'm excited.
I don't know. It was.
Okay.
Probably wasn't sober.
Well, I'm excited to hear what it was like.
Yeah. All right, so...
I think that's it for news. And Ryan...
Oh, yeah, there's still no plugs theme from Comedy Bang Bang.
Yeah, Radio Lab hasn't used me. They used a kid.
It's always next week.
Yeah, we're just going to keep pumping it out and seeing what we get.
We really got to write a song for How Did This Get Made?
Yo, I wrote that in my notes.
We really need to. Yeah.
There's so many opportunities. How Did This Get Made? They review a movie every other week, and they have songs on the middle of the week, mini-ups.
I think he likes the more poppy sounding.
Yeah.
So we got to write something poppy.
We'll cater to Paul Scheer. He's the best. So that's it for news. And speaking of our keyword news, we got a new segment coming from Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And when we have new segments, we're really trying to come up with some theme songs for it. And we just bring a random instrument here in the vocal booth.
All right, we'll try that.
Let's do it.
Ron's new podcast. Ron's new podcast. Ron's new podcast. All right,
Sorry. So what's this segment about?
New podcast?
Oh, new to you.
Oh, new to me. Yeah.
Well, also, yeah, new. I'm sorry.
I guess they're new, yeah. They weren't around like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the one I listened to this one. It's called "It Could Happen Here." It's a 9-part series hosted by Robert Evans from Behind the Bastards. We all know that guy. It's about exactly how a second civil war could happen. It's really good. He really breaks it down. He knows what he's talking about. He's actually like a good journalist and all that. He really breaks out point by point how it could actually happen. It's pretty scary.
It is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that out.
Oh, you want me to do them all? Or
Yeah, do them all, yo.
I'm listening to one called Survival. It's a Parcast podcast about the world's most resilient survivors. The episodes I was listening to is about Shindong Hayek and his impossible escape from North Korea's Kachan internment camp, where political prisoners and their descendants are sentenced to lives of starvation, torture, and hard labor. Shin was actually born in the camp because his parents were political prisoners or something.
And it's a legacy.
It's a legacy. So just because he was like born, he was locked up, but he's actually one of the only ones to ever like escape.
I think he was the only one.
Or the only one, yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's crazy. It's like, imagine only knowing like an internment camp and nothing else and trying to be like normal out in the world. You got extremely lucky, I think. Because you grow up in like prison. I don't know. It's weird, man.
It was harrowing.
It's interesting. You gotta listen to that one.
Thank you, because I listened to it and I'm hooked. And it's not like the same dude every time.
Yeah, it's not gonna be it.
Yeah.
But this one's a really good story.
Yeah.
I'm also listening to The Dropout. It's about the rise and fall of Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos. I think Jill was talking about this last week.
Yeah, it was in my top 3, but I legit did not say anything with substance. I couldn't even remember the company name Theranos.
What?
I'm glad you're cleaning up after me.
Yeah. You know, Jill's a wordsmith, and she's really good. Really good at PODSMASH.
Yeah, I'm all about preparedness.
All right, so anyway, it's about Elizabeth Holmes, the youngest self-made billionaire. She dropped out of Stanford to launch her company called Theranos.
Yeah.
And she claimed her technology could detect hundreds of diseases from like one or two drops of blood. But she's now under criminal indictment. She pleaded not guilty, but is facing up to 20 years in prison for wire fraud charges. Wow. They also did Behind the Bastards on that chick.
She's big in the news right now.
Yeah.
She's maybe like the biggest grifter of the modern age besides Bernie Madoff.
Besides Trump? I think Trump's probably the top grifty McGriff.
Yeah, she's right up there. Equal rights.
Equal rights. Yeah, so check out The Dropout. It's very good.
It is. Thank you for putting that more eloquently than I did last week.
So, what do you got here?
What do I got? It's time for Nate. I don't got any segments.
Oh, no segs?
No seggies. So I do have a nay. And I love the Joe Rogan Experience, and whenever I do him as a nay, it's just simply because of the guests that he has on. He has like multiple episodes a week, but this episode was Ben Shapiro, who's
Yikes.
Yikes is right. He's a conservative personality. And here are just some key things that I took away from it. He talked a lot about personal responsibility, which who can't subscribe to that? Who would be like, no, people shouldn't be personally responsible for themselves. But what he's trying to say is, no matter what station people are at life, you need to make choices. He said that starvation isn't a problem because people in poverty are obese.
Well,
no, that's a problem.
It's true though, because I was like, okay, I remember eating in the soup kitchen and waiting in line at the bread line. And they will give you like a garbage bag full of donuts, like for real.
You may as well starve as opposed to.
I know, but they get all this day-old bagels, all the day-old like donuts and shit, and it's like they're just carving up, man. Like we really can't get good food.
Yeah.
They straight up give you junk food.
Yeah, it's like poison, but don't worry because people aren't starving.
I know.
A couple other key points. American mobility has declined rapidly, and it's easy to move anywhere. So why aren't people leaving their hometowns to go out of state and get other job opportunities? Because moving is motherfucking so expensive.
Yeah, it is.
You gotta have first and last and security, and then you need a moving truck, and to move out of state where you have like no people to help you or anything.
Right, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, your situation is bad, so move. what about fixing your community? So everybody's going to have to move away? And then I got just one more thing, which is, his life choices. He said that single motherhood is a choice. Which, yeah, maybe, but you're trying to take people's choice away. Is it a choice in Texas, where you have to drive 8 hours to get to an abortion clinic? I mean, that's not a choice. Oh, I guess women just shouldn't have sex then.
Yeah, I started listening to that one, but I gave up. I was just I stopped listening.
His voice is annoying. Even if he was saying good stuff, I would turn it off.
I stopped and listened to the Kevin Hart one. It was pretty good.
Did he apologize for being homophobic?
Yeah, but, he kept apologizing, he's been apologizing that whole time, No, it's pretty interesting. You should listen to it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't know. He did. I thought he did, didn't he?
He apologized a bunch and then walked it back and then apologized, and I'm over it. I think we should all be over it.
Yeah, who cares?
Can't change the past. Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Oh, my name was Invisibilia, which is weird because that was one of my top picks last week. This one was weird. It was called A Very Offensive Rom-Com. It's about a young woman who discovers a pattern in her dating habits that disturbs her, so she goes on a quest to change who she's attracted to by dating more people who she is not attracted to. She doesn't... So she doesn't look racist for only dating one type.
Her one type being white guys.
Yeah, but I just think that's ridiculous because people are attracted to who they're attracted to, and it's not racist to have a type, I don't think.
It's actually racist to date people simply based on their race.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah.
But I respect the fact that they had the word offensive right in the title.
There's a lot of problems with it, but
it's really messed up.
Yeah,
this girl is backwards.
It's problematic. Yeah, this girl's kind of the worst. But oh well.
So she's on Tinder and it's a brown face, swipe right. What? Oh, it's messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I'd never heard of something like that. But
thank you for bringing it to our attention. It is thought-provoking. It's just it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Special shout-outs.
You got a shout-out?
I sure do have a special shout-out, but you get to go first because my phone just locked the screen. So what's your special shout-out?
Well,
my shout-outs.
My shout-out is Punch Up the Jam. Talk about them again. With hosts Miel Bridau and Demi Adeju-Wigby, because no one can have a normal name in podcasting. And their guest host was Caitlin Durante of the Bechdel podcast. The Bechdel test.
No, I don't.
So, Bechdel test?
Explain it.
It's to see if there's a proper women are properly represented in a movie. A proper 3D woman character.
It's rated, based on, is there an exchange between two women that aren't talking about men? Yeah, that's cool.
She's from the Bechdel podcast. I'm going to check that out, too.
Yeah.
But they get together and they unpack Shania Twain's monster hit that don't impress me much. It's just really funny what doesn't impress Shania Twain. It really is. It's so you're Brad Pitt? That don't impress me. I was like, what? What does impress you? The only thing she cares about is she's only impressed by good fucking.
Yeah.
She's supposed to get fucked good. Don't impress me much. But whatever. But I think Brad Pitt is pretty impressive.
Yeah, he does a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. But then she's like, so you got a car. She goes from Brad Pitt to a car.
To just having a car. So you're a rocket scientist? That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive, yeah.
She doesn't say what impresses her, too.
Well, just, you gotta be good at sex, I think.
Yeah, you need that good-sized you need that good dick.
Yep. It's all about that dick.
It is.
But it's pretty funny. You should check that out, Shania Twain. Really funny.
Do you have another one?
No, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
We got a message, I think.
Yeah, we do have a voicemail. First,
something about rosary beads or something.
Yeah, we listened to it already. It's really funny. Also, just to draw attention to last week's voicemail, the girl about the cookies and being old enough to stay up. Sorry, it was like going in and out. She's a kid. She doesn't know how to talk into the phone very well. But it was the wizard's girlfriend's niece, who's 7 years old.
The wizard's girlfriend's niece.
Yeah, lots of degrees of separation.
If you know who the wizard is.
Well, the wizard. Oh yeah, sorry. The wizard is a Blowjam staple. He's been on many episodes. He comes from the future, tells us about the future. His girlfriend Liz was on our Blowjam's 8-bit.
The lizard.
Yeah, the lizard. She was the lizard, and she was only like 20, so we played, old Nintendo music for her, and she picked which one she likes the most. Check out that episode, 8-bit. Without further ado, let's listen to this voicemail. Call the Blowjam headquarters tip line and leave a silly anonymous voicemail at 607-296-7297.
911.
And 911. And follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on our Facebook community. All you gotta do is just Google Blowjam. That's probably the easiest way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
Man, we're everywhere and nowhere. Well, we love you guys.
You have one old message. Thursday, 6:52 p.m.
Listen, guys. I got this guy that wants me to make more rosary. He's exchanging his mind about everything he knows, talking about this, and this. And then 2 days later, he's like, oh, never mind, I want this. So I want to tell him where to put his rosary beads and go to hell.
End of messages.